middle school families and students who are behind this curtain right now. I'm Jacob Mintiger, the assistant principal at the middle school, and it is my honor and pleasure to say welcome to the first in-person Pine Richland Middle School Band concert in 3 years. Very excited to have you tonight. Our students have been preparing all year. Oh, there's some light. So, I want to give a special shout out to our two band directors, Mr. Brian Scott and Mr. Jim Stillwagon, for all of the hard work that they've done with our students this year and in past years to prepare our 8th graders as they go off to high school. Thank you to both of those gentlemen. Can we give them a quick round of applause? Tonight we celebrate multiple kinds of art, so you'll be hearing a lot of music, but don't forget to take a look at our students' artwork that is out in the lobby area. Every student in Pine Richland Middle School is represented out there in our art show, which we are very proud of. So we celebrate all of the arts, those you see and those you hear tonight. And so speaking of the things that you'll hear, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Stillwagon and our 7th grade band to play our national anthem. So if you could please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
Hello, my name is Jim Stillwagon, one of the middle school band directors, along with Brian Scott. We also do the high school bands together. It's kind of neat to start with the kids at this age and see how they progress all the way through the high school band. That first song we played for you was a song called Jai Ho, which was from a movie called Slumdog Millionaire, which I believe was nominated for Best Picture that year. But yeah, that's a fun song, and actually a local band director named Lorene Parker, who was from Hampton, showed me that arrangement about 10 years ago, and it's kind of become a staple. Every couple years we play that song because the kids love it, and it's a fun little song. So yeah, the next song we're going to play for you is entitled Pangea, and Mr. Scott's going to come out and conduct that one. So please welcome Mr. Brian Scott to the stage.
All right, so the piece Pangea is a programmatic piece, meaning that Michael Story, the composer, he was thinking of the concept of Pangea, which was when the Earth had one continent before all the other continents were broken apart. And he was thinking of that concept, and his actual idea was the theme that you're going to hear in the alto saxophones at the very beginning, when it was all one. And then as things break apart and as continents float away, you'll kind of hear the music intensify a little bit. But that was his concept that he wanted to work on, and we hope you enjoy Pangea. with a couple trumpet solos from Boogie Leaper and Alex Scott. Okay, so out of curiosity, how many of you the QR code actually worked and took you to the program? Oh, gee. You know, I was trying to be a middle-aged band director and impress people. It worked last week with the high school, so I'll make sure I send that out to everybody. I think it probably took it just to Google Drive, is that right? Man, sorry about that. I thought I had that thing worked out. Okay, well anyways, we'll announce the tunes and we'll send out the program so you guys can all have it. We'll also make some copies if the kids want to just grab one in school. I only made about 50 in the back there, but we'll get that to you. Next piece is Aladdin. How many of you have seen the movie or the musical? I like the musical. We saw that one time with the high school band on a trip, and it was awesome. You're going to hear 3 tunes from Aladdin. This is Arabian Nights, Friend Like Me, and A Whole New World.
One thing before we talk about the next program selection, Mr. Minsinger was nice enough to offer, I saw him in the hallway, he's like, I'll go make some copies of the program. So on your way out, if you wanted one for a keepsake, there will be some more programs out in the lobby. Yeah, one of the cool things, and I know Mr. Scott mentioned we had gone to see Aladdin in New York, actually on Broadway a few years ago as part of a band trip. Well, this year's band trip with the high school, and we actually did along with the high school chorus and orchestra. We went to Universal Studios in Florida, and then we also ended up in a couple Disney parks at the end. But it was definitely one of the best trips I've ever been a part of. The weather was awesome, the kids were great. But the area of the Universal Park that always impresses me no matter how many times I go there is the Harry Potter section. If you've never been there, you won't believe it if you ever go. I mean, matter of fact, the first 2 times I was at the park, I never even had seen a Harry Potter movie. And it was still impressive. Then I was like, you know what, maybe I should watch a couple of these movies. And once I did, I was like, oh my gosh, that's like the exact replica of what's going on here. So anyhow, the next song we're gonna play for you is entitled Highlights from Harry Potter. It's arranged by Michael Story, and we hope you enjoy it. Okay, now for our last selection with the 7th grade band. This one has been sitting in the file cabinet. I've been here 23 years, and I think it's probably been in there the entire time. And somehow, every now and again, I'll go through the whole cabinet and I'll just say like, hey, wonder what we haven't played yet, and then I'll pull it out. And most of the time it's like, oh, that's why we haven't played that. Or, yeah, or it's been in there for 20 years and we have everything except for like the first trumpet part, the first trombone part, the first flute part, and most of the percussion. So those are unplayable, but this one is like a gem, and I can't believe we haven't played it ever before, but this became one of our favorites. So the name of the song is called Instant Swing Concert, and it has a whole bunch of different songs in there. I will read them off. Woodchopper's Ball, Jumpin' Jack, Zoot Suit Riot, Puttin' on the Ritz, It Don't Mean a Thing, Stompin' at the Savoy, Boogie Woogie, Bugle Boy, Leapfrog, Go Daddy-O, In the Mood, and Jump, Jive, and Wail. It's arranged by Eric Osterling. We hope you enjoy Instant Swing Concert. you. What an awesome 7th grade band. Okay, the next portion of our program, which we're going to get set up here for in a second, is the Pine Ridge Middle School Jazz Band, which is a great transition from that last song. So if you're in the second row here, then if you're at SeaWorld, we call that the splash zone. So yeah, be careful. Okay, so we'll be set up with the jazz band here in just a few minutes.
Towards the back there and see if there's are there programs in the back? Fantastic. So if some of you want to grab a handful, maybe bring them out for your neighbors in the seats, that would be a great thing. Thank you.
Best helpers and substitute teachers that comes in, an awesome musician, Joe Herndon. Joe, would you stand up? Yeah. Joe is not only an awesome musician and a substitute teacher, he's also Sophia's dad, which is probably the most important job of the three that he does. But if you've ever been down to see any of the Broadway shows that come into town, whenever they use any of the local musicians, Joe's usually down in the pit playing. So, yeah, great musician. And he comes in whenever one of us can't be here and picks up the pieces, and basically nothing ever falls through the cracks. He just kind of comes in and continues on. So thank you, Joe. Okay, as Mr. Minsinger was saying when we started the show tonight, this is the first concert in this building that we've had in 3 years. And because of a lot of the limitations we've had, we've been able to do some things, but jazz band has been one thing that we really hadn't been able to do the last couple of years. So we got the band back together this year, the middle school jazz band, and they've been showing up on Mondays and doing some great work. So let's have a hand for the jazz band. The first song we're going to play for you tonight is called Ventura Jam by Carl Strauman, and it's kind of like a honky-tonk rock type of tune. But we're going to have some soloists. This, again, is for a lot of these kids is the first time they've ever tried to play improvised solos. But on this song, we're going to have Cody Leeper on trumpet. We'll have Lauren Hyams on guitar. We'll have Cameron Winko on alto saxophone. Ryan Noir on bari sax. Chase Beastie will be our drummer. And on piano, we will have Ryan Moore. Here is Ventura Jam. We're going to check a few levels. Okay. of course, that the not having a chair or a stand part was not Jackson's fault, and neither was his neck strap breaking. But I just told him he reminds me of the commercial where the guy's mayhem. Just kidding. So yeah, if you are a fan of either any of the Rocky movies or Maynard Ferguson, then you are going to, or if you're a fan of both, you're really going to like this one. But this is an arrangement of Gonna Fly Now, which was made popular in the Rocky movie. And also, if you know Maynard Ferguson, he did one of these screaming high trumpet arrangements of this, and it's pretty cool. So we had a good time learning it, and we're gonna have a bunch of solos on this as well. We have Cameron Winko on alto sax, Anna Merlack on trumpet, Karcher Dosh on bari sax, Lauren Himes on guitar, Alex Goss on trumpet, and again Ryan Noir on bari sax, and on piano we have Julia Stinelli, and our drummer for this song is Ryan Moore. Here is Gonna Fly Now. Oh yeah, if you see me playing trombone for about 8 measures, we had only a couple trombone players this year, so I promised them I would give them a little backup on the one part where the trombones get the melody, so I'll be making a guest appearance. Thank you very much. How about a jazz band? Woo! We have about 3-minute changeover and we'll be back with the 8th grade band.
So that was John Philip Sousa's Washington Post. He was actually hired by the Washington Post newspaper to write that piece in 1889, and it actually became a huge dance hit. In other words, teenagers all across the country, and even in Europe, were dancing to the Washington Post March back in 1889 because it was such an awesome piece. They did a step called, I think it was called a two-step back then, but that was one of the big dance numbers in the 1800s. The next piece we're going to play is Kingdom of the Sun and Moon, and this is a programmatic piece. It's written by Robert Buckley, and this is inspired by an exhibition of historic Peruvian art. And this is going to actually take us on a journey of the great Inca city, Machu Picchu. And this is going to end with a colorful procession towards the Temple of the Sun. That's what Robert Buckley wants us to think of as we listen to Kingdom of the Sun and Moon.
Okay, our next selection tonight is an overture written by Franz von Suppe, this piece was written in 1846 when he was just 27 years old. It was part of an operetta, which rarely ever got performed or is performed, and but the one thing that was pretty popular after that was the Poet and Peasant Overture, the overture from that. So this is as close to a classical piece as we're going to play for you, so everybody get your dinner napkins on your lap because we're about to get fancy on you. I could read for the next 20 minutes because the story that they list in the piece actually goes on and on and on and on and on. But I will just tell you that the piece we're about to play is called Through Darkened Sleepy Hollow. and it has to do with Ichabod Crane. And I'll just tell you a little bit of the creepiness of the story. It says, "It is said by some to be the ghost of a Hessian trooper whose head had been carried away by a cannonball in some nameless battle during the Revolutionary War, and who is ever and seen by the country folk hurrying along in the gloom of night as if on the wings of the wind." So it's basically a legendary tale, but it has really a whole story of creepiness that you'll hear in the story, and you can just imagine fog and seeing kind of like ghost-like things running back and forth. But yeah, it features Reed Carter on the timpani. Not too many songs feature the timpani. I know there's that thing that says not too many songs feature the cowbell, but this is one that features the timpani, and this has nothing to do with anything other than my scatterbrain going crazy here, but I just wish every song ended with a gong hit. I love it. By the way, that was not a cue to hit the gong at the end of the song.
Tonight's kind of a special night for us because this is the last time that we call these kids 8th graders. Starting tomorrow, we call them freshmen. And Monday, we actually have our first high school marching band practice after school. So many of these kids, a whole ton of them are moving up to the high school next year, and we are super proud of that, and we are super proud of all these kids, especially this time when it would have been real easy to give up playing an instrument. We all know the last couple of years have been crazy, and for a lot of people they did. They just, that was one of the first things that went, was playing an instrument. But these kids up here stuck with it, and it was not easy. It was not easy dealing with the performance masks and the bell covers and everything, and spacing out, and practicing out in the parking lot. But you guys all did, you made it through. You did, and you've been fantastic. Mr. Stillwagon and I are so proud of you. You guys are So enjoy your last moment as an 8th grade band member because this is going to be epic. All right. In the audience, how many of you remember when Journey first came out and you danced to Journey music? Raise your hand, please. Raise it high, be proud, it's okay. I asked the 8th grade band before we started tonight, I said, what song? I said, name one song today that if a DJ played it today, every single person would get up and go dance. I'm not talking about an old song, a current song today. They could not name one. They named Cotton Eye Joe. I said, that was 20 years ago. They named something from Miley Cyrus. What was a Party in USA? I said, no, that was, how many years ago was that song? Material Girl. That was, someone said Material Girl. That was Madonna, for crying out loud. That was forever. I said, name something right now that's current that everybody dances to. They couldn't name one. All right, well, I don't know if I'm lumping you in with me, but I'm just saying, we can probably list a whole bunch of tunes that when they first hit the radio, we started dancing to them. We started going, to parties or to dances, and those songs came on, and we immediately started to dance. Well, I moved some of the jazz stuff out of the way up here. And there's a couple of spots over on the side. And remember, one of your jobs as a parent. We got that next. That's the next part. One of your jobs as a parent is it's okay to embarrass your kids. It's okay. That's part of it. So if you're here with a spouse and you feel like you want to get up and dance, remember, it's just the two of you. Just the two of you. Nobody else matters at that moment. You all know what I'm talking about. When you have that slow dance, it's just the two of you. Nothing else matters. Okay? Use the aisleways. Feel free. Come on up here. If you are not slow dancing, you are all getting out your cell phone right now and you're turning on the flashlight. You're turning on the flashlight and we're going to see everybody doing this. Okay? That's what we're going to see. So this is Journey Hits. If you feel like dancing, come on up. You're going to hear a really rockin' bass line from our bass clarinetist, Emily, and our two tuba players, Nikki and Corey. They got a really rockin' bass line they're going to play. You're also going to hear a really nice alto saxophone solely from Priya and from Sam over here. Okay? So we hope you enjoy their final numbers, 8th graders. This is a medley of Journey Hits. We're not leaving here till I see people dancing. Franklin Middle School 8th grade band. And how about another round of applause for the 7th grade band? They did a fantastic job. Thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Make sure you visit the art show out there. There are some fantastic pieces. Take your time, enjoy your neighbors, see the artwork. Thanks everybody, have a great evening.